long time no see. Now I will be discussing lesson number 16 since we don't have classes and your examination is approaching. Now I will be sending you recorded lessons for you to watch and learn at the same time. Now let's proceed to lesson number 16 entitled Geometric Series and its Application. So after this video, you will be going to comment what you have learned in our lesson. So that will also serve as your attendance and your recitation at the same time. So for those who will be sending comments here, so they will also be receiving tokens when we already have our face-to-face classes. So now let's start. So let's have geometric series and its application. So first, let us define geometric series. So it is the sum of the terms of a geometric sequence. In a geometric sequence, each term is found by multiplying the previous term by a fixed number called the common ratio. So we have already discussed about geometric, right? The geometric sequence and geometric series, wherein we are multiplying the previous term. So what is the term, or that is also called as the common ratio, right? In arithmetic series and arithmetic sequence, we have common difference. However, in geometric sequence, we have the common ratio. Okay po. Now, let's have here formula. So the sum of s of n of the first n terms of a geometric series is given by the formula. So let me write. Okay. So this is the formula. The S of n is equals to A's of 1 times 1 minus r raised to n over 1 minus r. So, ano yung A's of 1? What is A's of 1? That is the first term. Next, what is our r? This one, what is our r? That is the common ratio. And then our n is the number of terms. So, ay, pang ilang terms siya. So, in short, we'll be using s of n is equals to a of 1 times 1 minus r raised to n over 1 minus r. So, let's have here an example. Find the sum of the first 5 terms of the geometric series. We have here the 2, 6, 18, and 54. So, now let's define. What are the A's of 1, the common ratio, the n, and the S of 5? Okay, what is our A's of 1? The first term, that is 2. Since it is the first number or the first term, so we have here 2. Okay, next, what is our common ratio? For us to determine what will be the common ratio, you need to know the quotient first. 6 divided by 2, that is 3. 18 divided by 6, that is 3. 54 divided by 18, that is also 3. So, let's have it here from left to right. So, 2 times 3, 6. 6 times 3, 18. 18 times 3, that is 54. So, our common ratio is 3. Next, we are finding the sum of the first 5 terms. So, therefore, our n is the fifth term or the number 5. Okay, the 5 terms. Next, since we are getting the S of n, which is 5, we have S of 5. So, we are finding what is S of 5. So, now let's apply it in our formula. So, we have A of 1 is equals to 2, R is equals to 3, N is equals to 5, and S of 5 is equals to blank. So, now, as you can see here, we have here the formula. The S of n, this is the formula. This is our formula. S of n is equals to A of 1 times 1 minus r raised to n divided by 1 minus r. So let's substitute it by the given numbers. So since we are finding the S of n, which is S of 5, so this is the first one. This is the first thing to do. This is number 1. So we have here 2 times 1 minus 3 raised to 5 over 1 minus 3. Okay, where did we get the a's of 1? Here. Since we have a's of 1, that is 2, times 1, that is 1, minus 3 raised to 5. Where did we get the 3 raised to 5? Here. In our formula, r is 3, and our n is 5. Okay? Divided by 1 minus 3, since you will getting the letter R, which is 3. Okay? So now, when we will be using the PEMDAS, okay, what is the first thing to do? Since in our, here, in our, inside the parenthesis, we still have here exponent. You should be multiplying or getting the 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 or 5 threes. So we have here 243 as the answer. So we have here 2 times 1 minus 3 raised to 5, that is equivalent to 243. And 1 minus 3, that is negative 2. So next, as a 5, okay, this is number 2, second step. And this is our third step. Okay. Next, we have 2. 1 minus 243, that is negative 242. Since the higher number is negative, so we have negative 242 over negative 2. You will just copy negative 2. Next, 2 times negative 242. This will be our fourth step. So we have negative 484. Ma'am, why do we have negative? Since we are multiplying different signs, right? Positive 2 times negative 242, that is negative 484. And then you will just copy negative 2. So negative 484 divided by negative 2. Since you have both negative sign, negative divided by negative, that will be positive. So your final answer will be S of 5 is equals to 242. So the sum of the first 5 terms of the geometric series is 242. Okay? So next, let's have another example. Okay. Let's find the sum of the first 10 terms of the geometric series. We have 5, 10, 20, and 40. So first, let us determine the given. So we have a's of 1, our r, our n, and s of 10, since we are finding the 10th term. So what is our first term? That is 5. So we have here a's of 1 is equals to 5. Next, r is equals to 2. Why? 10 divided by 5, 2. 20 divided by 10, 2. 40 divided by 20, 2. Or 5 times 2, 10. 10 times 2, 20. 20 times 2 is 14. So on and so forth. So we have here 2. Next, n is equals to 10. Where did we get number 10? Here. Because we are getting the 10th term. So n is equals to 10. Since we are finding the s of n, what is the value of our n? That is 10. Since we have here s of n, we will be getting it as s of 10. Okay, so we're finding s of 10. So let's substitute the values to the given formula. So we have here a's of 1 is equals to 5, r is equals to 2, n is equals to 10, and s of 10 is our ask. So let's have here the formula. S of n is equals to a's of 1 times 1 minus r raised to n divided by 1 minus r. So we have here s of 10. So what is our a's of 1? That is 5. What is our 1? That is also 1. Minus, okay, copy minus here. And then our r is 2. So we have here 2. Then our n is 10. So we have here 10. Over 1, that is, as is, 1. And then you will copy minus, the operation minus. And then our r is 2. Okay. So now, let's have it. So let's first have the exponent, shall okay? The 2 raised to 10. Since we can't answer 1 minus 2 raised to 10. So let's determine first the answer in 2 raised to 10. So we will just copy as of 10, the 5, 1 minus, okay, copy that, and 2 raised to 10, that is 1024, over 1 minus 2. So 1 minus 2, that is negative 1. So now let's have the next step. As of 10 is equals to 5. 1 minus 1024, that is negative 1023, divided by negative 1. So as of 10 is equals to negative 5,115. Where did we get the 5,115? 5 times negative 1,023. So negative 5,115 divided by negative 1. So negative divided by negative, your answer will be positive. So we will be getting the answer as of 10 is equals to 5,150. So the sum of the first 10 terms of the geometric series is 5,150. Next, let's proceed to word problem applying the geometric series. So now Jessa decides to save 100 pesos in the first week and triple her savings every week. How much will she have saved in total after 5 weeks? So the first step to do is to identify the given values. Okay, so let's determine first the is of 1, the r, the n, and the s of n, which is the fifth term. Since we are finding the total after the 5 weeks. Okay, so identify the given value. So let's have the first week. How much does Jessa save? That is 100 pesos. So ace of 1 is equals to 100. Okay. Next, R is 3, since you will triple her savings. Therefore, you will be multiplying it by 3. Next, you have saved in total after 5 weeks. So now, we will be having n is equals to 5. Since we are finding the s of the 5th week, so we will be finding the s of 5. Now, let's substitute it in the given formula. So, as is, we have s of n is equals to a of 1 times 1 minus r raised to n divided by 1 minus r. So, let's substitute. What is our a of 1? That is 100. 1, copy, minus, just copy that. And then r is 3. So, raised to n, which is 5. So, divided by 1 minus 3. Since r is 3. Next, 100. Copy 100. Copy 1. Copy minus sign. 3 raised to 5, that is 243. And then you will just copy and answer 1 minus 3. You will have b having minus or negative 2. So next, s of 5 is equals to 100. 1 minus 243, that is negative 242. And then divided by negative 2. So 100 times negative 242, that is negative 24,200. And then you will just copy negative 2 here. So we'll be having negative 24,200 divided by negative 2. So negative divided by negative, that is positive. So we will be having 12,100. So therefore, after 5 weeks of tripling her weekly savings, Jessa will be saving or will have saved a total of 12,100 pesos. So our S of 5 is 12,100. Next, another example. A viral post gains 50 shares in the first hour. If the number of shares triples every hour, how many total shares will it have after 6 hours? Okay, so let's identify the given values. In the first hour, we have how many shares? We have 50 shares. Therefore, in the first hour, you have 50. Next, if the number of shares triples every hour, so it will be tripling or it will be times 3. So your common ratio will be 3. Next, how many total shares will we have after 6 hours? So we will be having 6 as our n. Okay, since we are finding the s of n, which is our n is 6, we will be finding s of 6. Okay, now let's substitute it in the given formula. S of n is equals to a of 1 times 1 minus r raised to n divided by 1 minus r. Okay, what is our a of 1? That is 50. 1, just copy 1, copy the minus sign. And then r is 3, so you will just copy 3. And then our n is 6, so therefore we have here 6. So divided by 1 minus r, which is, our r is 3. Next, you will just copy 50, so you will just copy 1 minus 3 raised to 6, that is 729. So divided by 1 minus 3, that is negative 2. Next, S of 6 is equals to 50. 1 minus 729, that is negative 728, divided by negative 2. So we will be multiplying 50 and negative 728. So you will be having an answer of negative 36,400 divided by negative 2. So in short, your answer will be 18,200 as your S of 5. S of 6 rather. Okay, as of 6 po ito ha. Na-typo lang. Ayan. Okay. So after 6 hours of going viral, the post will have accumulated 18,200 shares in total. Okay, so that is our lesson number 16. So after watching this video, I will be needing your comments below for me to identify those students who watched my video. And that will also serve as your participation, attendance, and your recitation. Thank you and keep safe. Bye.